Yo. So just had a little bit of food and now heading to I was looking at hotels and I was like, it's kind of expensive for not a nice hotel, and also I really want to go just check it out. There's so many cool spots that would be cool, but they're closed for the season, and I just have a feeling like it's okay to go check it out. Yeah, be there in like 20 minutes. Oh, super dark out. I could see it cutting out a silhouette in the clouds as I was approaching. And I was like, I'm just going to stop because there's no other cars and I don't like doing this. What? It's huge. This is my sleeping arrangement. It's actually pretty comfy, except that I can't extend all the way. And I'm wearing both my jackets. But pretty stoked. So as soon as I saw it, I mean, I was having like assumption energy connection on the way here. Just like, oh, this is me noticing, connecting to the energy of the place. But then when I saw the silhouette of it, it was like, it's like seeing it, I noticed more clearly one small feeling that I had been noticing that was connected to it. Like being up here, I just feel so cozy and tired. It's, I don't know, like 9 p.m. And for the past month, I'd been staying up on the computer, getting high, and then sleeping in. But right now, I'm just like so content. I am cognizant that it's to my right. I mention that because I can feel like a pull, kind of. But it doesn't feel like a magnetic pull. It feels just kind of like, right now it's just like a tingling in my cheekbones. Oh, also, sometimes I'll use anatomical terms as like best guesses. So this is one of those cases. My pericardium has been quivering. Not literally. It's like it feels like the space around my heart is like kind of achy. And it feels just like old tension stuff. I mean, with the meditation, I feel like great, like in terms of like resolution stuff, but it's just interesting noticing nuances. Or like with the COVID stuff and election fraud. I definitely had some inner tension just watching things play out. But being here, just like in the car, right here, I feel really good. I'm so excited to walk around it tomorrow. There's not a lot of places open right now because it's November 28th, my birthday. But actually, here my birthday. So it's a little bit late in the season, and so places are closed. Hence, sleeping in the car. I might try getting in the driver's seat. I feel like that's going to seem more comfortable, but then it's actually more restricted because you're in that position. Whereas being on on the bench, I can go on my back, knees up. I can go on the side. I can change head facing the other side. Alright. I'm gonna meditate a little bit more. Good morning. Good morning, party people. It is dawn, and there's a bunch of frost. Oh, fuck. Actual frost on the window. Did get to fall asleep a couple times. I've got insomnia problems in normal life. Not like problems, just not falling asleep. But I did fall asleep a couple times. And there's another car that pulled in, which made me feel more comfortable for sleeping. And it's so cozy, and I want to go outside, but it's gonna be so cold. And I'm so excited. Reflecting more on the energetic quality of this space. It feels just like a strong but super gentle. When I say strong, I mean coherent, like organized, but then really low amplitude, if that's the right word. Like the intensity is really low. But like right now talking, I mean, I could be making it up, as always, but I don't think so, because the physical sensation is consistent. And so when I was trying to fall asleep, I would be noticing this, not like a pulsing, just like a gentle tingling. It's kind of like if you were sitting on the sofa reading and you felt like a very gentle sunbeam. It's like that, where like you just kind of notice it, but you could ignore it if you weren't paying attention. I'm really excited to walk around it. There's a trail that goes around the base, and I might just like do that a bunch of times today. Yeah. Pretty. Heated bathroom feels so good right now. Very excited. Here's the trail. Just gonna go up and then around the tower. It's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Oh wow, per bundles. Quick film. Wow. Wow. What? This is amazing. This is extraordinary. Ooh, get some snow. It's really cold. My hands are stinging. But it's gonna be hot when the sun comes up. Wow. Wow. Oh, I'm so excited. Look at that. Ready? Ready? Ooh, sunrise. Ready? So pretty. Wow. Wow. Landmark. Bench. Wow. 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 So excited. Looking for a spot to meditate, and then probably go get breakfast and come back. I just want to go touch it. Hello. Oh boy. Are you ready? It's really high, it doesn't look that high. It is massive. Hey, bird. Oh, warm in the sun. Very happy. Frost out of the inside of the car. That's all NOAA lung water air that has frozen, and that's fine, but I cannot see. So I've got it on full blast, just so you can. 22 degrees Fahrenheit at 9:19 a.m. It got pretty cold last night, but in the sleeping bag I was cozy. The sleeping bag was a great purchase. It was like 60 bucks. Just would not mind like an insulated space or a pad, because I like extending my leggies. Gonna go to the town of Hewlett to get breakfast and check stuff out, and then probably come right back on up, or maybe see Bella Fouché, I'm not sure, it's a river. Yeah. A shimmering light, my head grew heavy and my sight grew dim. I already spent the night. It is pretty cool though, huh? This is like 5 miles away, like 3 miles away, I don't know exactly. Less than 9 miles, because I passed that sign a while ago. You parked up there, because that's where the turnoff is. But here is a river crossing, and this is that same river that when I was up there this morning, I filmed. It's kind of winding back and forth. It's the Belle Fouche or Foucher, I don't know. But came back on this side for ceremonial crossing, because the river brings life throughout the plains. Anytime there's water, there's life. But also it creates a barrier. It feels kind of like a nice little protective barrier for the sacred site. And so even though we're already up on the hill, we already crossed the water with the car twice, or 4 times technically, back and forth. Ask permission, just with the heart, just like intention. And then holding a feeling of gratitude, I cross. Naturally having a good time, but making sure to smile at the river, so to speak. Cool. River crossing. Taking a detour because there was a sign offering a detour. I've got a sock rubber banded around my phone so that the wind doesn't mess up the audio, so I hope you can still hear me. Got my makeshift selfie stick. Quapow. Oh, quapow. Oh, I'm not going to show you out of respect, but I can see somebody's sweat lodge frame. Makes me think of being in sweat lodge with my friend and teacher Tim, a Lakota guy. Really cool. And those sweat lodges are very hot. Very powerful. Is this sagebrush? Wow. Yum. This is really pretty awesome. Okay, we ascend. Ya subimos, ¿no? ¿Para dónde? Para todo. Ya vamos a todo. I wonder if I'm making any friends out here. That couple yesterday was pretty nice at the cave. Oh, hey, Mato Tipila. What's up, Holmes? I film the whole thing so I don't lose my battery, but I'm going to show you the trail. You got regular old bow. Hike at your own risk. Looks like they're redoing some trails here. That's cool. You know what? Maybe I should do a time lapse. Just a little bit closer up now. And I want to mention this sign. You're going to see a lot of prayer bundles if you come, and people in different traditions will make prayers with them. And so messing with the prayer bundle is kind of like messing with their prayer. And also it's sacred land. So just be very careful what you want to come back to you. So earlier this morning, I didn't even see that side. So I ended up going like that. But this time, I'm going to go that way. In Tibetan Buddhism, they always walk clockwise around the stupas. And that's what I'm going to do, because this feels like a stupa. This is what it looks like. Park service naked. Got some nice diggers for digging. All right. BRB. So far I haven't seen any of these three, but I saw either a red squirrel or a prairie dog. Super ignorant. Saw a bunch of pigeons and 2 owls and a bunch of deer, and the deer are very relaxed. Like they just look at you when you walk by. which is interesting because it's also hunting country. But I guess there's so many that it's unlikely they'd be the same. I don't know, it doesn't matter. Look at me trying to sound so smart for you. This is why we came. This is why. Look at this beautiful sunlight. Thank you, sun. Whether it was a world tree or whether it is a magma-related phenomenon, when you get closer, you maybe already can have seen the columns, and all these boulder fields are probably from that. Breaks off and tumbles down. I think it's like 700 feet high right now from visitor center to summit. And so this one is kind of rounded, this boulder that I'm showing you, but there'll be other ones that still have the columnar shape. And they're just so cool. I've got certain friends back home that I crack up imagining hearing me talk about the world tree. But you lads have already heard me talk about many a funny thing, so why stop now? Also, apparently helicopters taking photos of the top. Some people claim to notice concentric rings like you would see in a regular tree, whereas the stress point fracture turning one solid piece into columnar bits, I don't know of anything that would cause concentric circles, but I'm also not a geologist at all, just an enthusiast. I was somewhat hesitant to film because it's Lakota sacred ground, but I was thinking, Sadhguru shared this place. I wonder if it's okay. Ooh, y'all scared me. Some frisky ferrets. Buddies, are you having a great day? Look at that. Scamper, scamper, scamper. So cool. But I was thinking, Sadhguru showed this place, and then he had another video where he was talking with, I forget the guy's name, I'm sorry, but he had the blue hat that said Chief. Love those two videos. And so I hope it's okay for me to share this. I'm hoping to encourage people to come here for ceremony and connection, or just to appreciate the land. And I don't know if it works, but I'm also making like an energetic postcard kind of. So if you can't come out here, you can just watch the, you can just connect. Sorry, I'm trying to get you a better shot. Anyway, continuo. Ya voy. Battery's already very low again, but here we are at the halfway point of the tower trail. Oh, trees blocking the tower perfectly. There's the big beauty. And I'm still looking for a really good example of the columns, but maybe before the phone dies, I should just meditated for a while up in the hills over there. Now it's kind of chilly, so I'm continuing, but I saw this one and it's kind of a good example. This chunk has obviously fallen out, but if you imagine it hasn't, that's one nice side. Oh, 2, 3, 4. I think that was 5, or that is 5, and then 6. And if I come on this side, you can see how true the sides are, as in it, like this piece runs, this piece runs. This is what I was talking about earlier with the stress point theory. Cool stuff. see. In the car now, just had some leftovers and sunflower seeds, and just kind of recuperating because I spent a whole bunch of time out in the wind, and the weather today is high exposure. But tomorrow I'm really excited. I kept on getting into good meditations, but then I would just get like colder and colder and colder. So tomorrow I'm excited to have it be a little bit warmer, and hopefully less windy. But even sitting in the car, I can feel it. There's fatigue from the wind. I can hear the high-pitched noise of the phone charging. I can feel the sun on my shoulder coming in through the window. But it's like I reach out to grab, so to speak. Also, I've been noticing a lot of like fear thoughts and nausea and like control thoughts. Like I'll be really in with the energy and then I'll start, running around. And it feels like it's pushing stuff out in a good way. Like working a knot out or something, to use a massage analogy. Because also in this yogic science, I think, if I'm correct, they build on each other. At the very least, there are foundational systems and intermediate and advanced systems. And if you don't have foundational stuff squared away, intermediate stuff might work, but also might cause problems if there's like pinch points, so to speak. To use a workout analogy, if you had like really strong triceps but really weak shoulders, you might be able to do some push-ups, but you might also be at risk for injury, or whatever analogy you like. And I've been working at this stuff since high school. Like it's all I do, along with like trying to do fun regular person stuff. But like this like long healing process. I guess in high school it was like a healing process because I was in a pretty dark place, and then stuff just got really good. I mean, I had like very low budget life, like very shoestring for a lot of stuff, but just like enjoying the process and having fun and feeling good and being healthy and getting to meet nice people. And but even still, so being at a place like this, Sadhguru said it was one of the 3 most intense Vishuddhi chakra, throat chakra energy centers he had ever been to in the world, or at least in the North America. And so I feel like connecting to it, and it's helping to cook stuff out. But also coming to a place like this, putting yourself in ceremony, things do kind of like cook, like the cooking fire gets hotter when you want a meal. And so being here, it's like, all right, I'm going to do the thing. So I'm putting myself in that place of like, even if it's uncomfortable, just like continuing, since I have the opportunity of being on location. Yeah. I'm just kind of narrating my process for this whole thing. It's also funny, the light filter. Oh, I didn't change that time. But anyway. Yeah, 2:21 right now. Been resting for like half an hour. Didn't like nap, but I was just kind of like lounging. Takes me a super long time to fall asleep, so nap is kind of like risque or dangerous because then I might not fall asleep later. But I'm pretty tired from last night. Also feel just really good. There's like a desire for like something big and magical to happen, but if I just accept the process, what I do notice, I can feel it, but I can't describe it as easily. It's like a meditation feeling is shining on me. And I can meditate, and then it's like really nice. It just like grooves right in. What's interesting is that I don't feel a lot in my throat. Like I feel a lot like right here, cheekbone and sinus, and like gums, if that makes sense. A little bit chest and shoulders and forearms and tops of my hands, but not in my throat, which is interesting. And if I connect specifically to base of throat, feels almost like a stretch. I don't know. I'm also not smoking any pot on this trip, but to clarify, I do usually smoke pot before bed. So I could also be predisposed to needing more work for my throat because of like that energy center and the related nerves and tissues having already focused a lot to clear out toxins. But I'm just speculating. That's interesting. That was like an excuse for not grooving more with it. Very interesting. The sun is almost entirely gone down, and the hill, or the tower rather, is glowing. It is beautiful. On the camera right now it looks orangey yellow, but to my eyes it's much more pink red. Kind of like that tree bark. So beautiful. Just making sure it's not my car. This is all going to be dark soon. I'm going to do one more loop and then decide if I'm going to sleep in the car again or go find a hotel. It's supposed to be much warmer tomorrow. Spent like an hour and a half in the car, warming up, eating, called family to say hey. Yeah, I feel really good now. Earlier it felt like too much wind and I got kind of cold and tired. My vision wasn't blurry, but it was just kind of tired eyes. Aho omatake o yasin. You can look that up, and that's a Lakota prayer. Om ahum benze guru pema silihong for Padmasambhava. I feel like these two energies, Mato Tipila and Padmasambhava, work well together, but I'm kind of a goofball spiritually all over. Just want to get tips from people who have had the experiences that I seek themselves. I've met teachers from all kinds of traditions in my travels. I've worked with Lakota Native Americans. I've worked with native Cusqueños, like people from Cusco, Peru. I've worked with white people who have trained with Cusqueños and now live that lifetime formally. I've trained with all kinds of people on the yoga meditation path. I trained with somebody who was like a real meditation master. Trained with this woman Lisa, who's a master healer. Many, many more things. It's just amazing to me the way she works with people. And so that's the first title. Lisa Ishwari Murphy. Super great resource. I recommend you look her up. But all these people, they've had their own experience. They don't always say the exact same thing, because you can imagine different personality types in different cultures or life experiences. you just focus on different stuff. And so in explaining or teaching their stories or their practices, sometimes there's nuances, and man, I got distracted because it's so pretty. I guess that's a good example. When you're hearing somebody talk, I'm not using myself as an example, I'm talking about the people that I've heard talk. When you hear them talk and they're talking about their experience, it's almost like you can feel it in yourself. It's so strong in them. Thought of that example or analogy or whatever. Looking at this, it's like everything else just swept away. It's obvious. It's like, oh yeah, it's right there. And that may be vague if you're thinking about spiritual stuff, but the shamanism stuff I've studied, and the yoga stuff, and the mysticism stuff, they all believe in like an undifferentiated field, like a primordial ocean, I think is the Greek example, and that's like an alive, boundlessly loving consciousness. I'm just telling you what these people say. And so when you go into these quiet places, like in nature, or quiet place internally, like in meditation, you're not going into like a coma, you're not, it's not just like going to sleep or daydreaming. It's noticing more of that aspect of yourself that's just like, I like this teacher, Nisargadatta Maharaj, a lot. He worked with a guru, Siddhara Meswar or Maha Siddheswar. I'm sorry, I forget. But if you look up Nisargadatta, it'll be easy to find his teacher. And Nisargadatta talks about this a lot because he is an Advaita Vedantist. And that's their whole thing. It's like the whole universe is still undifferentiated material. It just appears otherwise. And if you act as if you can do whatever you want because it's undifferentiated, you will have consequences because you experience it as you experience it. So if you're like, no, it is definitely differentiated, that's poison ivy, that's a dead tree, yes, you will experience poison ivy and tree. But looking at this whole process like a science, these people seem to, and they're men and women and non-binary and all kinds of stuff. That's wild. Nisargadatta, these people, all kinds of people. I already mentioned that they all had the same. Oh, these people have all noticed these things that make up our lifetime, and they've been able to intimately live life so deeply that they feel consciously, they're cognizant. It's not just like when I was working with a lot of negative self-talk and like sad thoughts and all kind of depression, I would focus a lot on trying to be like, oh, I'm happy, I'm positive, like I can do it. And I'm not saying that's what they're doing. For them, the example would be like, I'm wearing a jacket. It's like you and I can both agree, it's not an opinion-based experience. There is a jacket on my body. And we cannot live through the experience of those people until we are also non-local. But I think it's really cool, the science of it. Even, I think Erwin Schrödinger said that some number of minds in the universe is one. And that's the same concept. It's like life, aliveness is a state. And my brain has a different arrangement of neurons than yours. And I have different hormonal patterns than you do. And I have different life experiences and all kinds of stuff. And this same aliveness that we all live, and the trees live, and the rocks live in a different way, just the weak nuclear force holding them together. I love science terms. If they're not totally correct, just work with me. There is, I think it's the weak nuclear force. Like you get a atom. It's like, why don't they, I don't know, it doesn't matter, off topic. But so thinking of it as a science, it's like all these people have bodies and they live lives. they live lives through the bodies. So it's like the body is the tool and the life is the actual entity. And it's not like, oh, I'm this kind of person, I'm this kind of entity. It's like you are life, like you are alive. When you're dead, you'll be non-local alive. So it's this concept that the whole universe is alive. Right now, Noah exists in this Noah body because I've not had the enlightenment experience where it's visible, like palpable, that the universe is one. I love this stuff so much. And I have thought about, what am I really offering if I don't actually have that experience? And this may be like super naked, and it may be incorrect, but hopefully, if I continue practicing, I will be able to talk from that place where I'm not I'm just alive, and there's this like super conscious, not because I've achieved anything, because I'm not actually there, and it's like the whole universe Noah is able to express. That sounds very similar to different lectures of people I've learned about. Paramahansa Yogananda is another super good resource. They wrote a book, Autobiography of a Yogi. I think it was sometime in the early 1800s. I gotta show you over here. And his book is written all from the perspective of him and as an adult, but he recounts his life stories and the kind of relative events that led him to his awakening. His teacher, Sri Yukteswar, and his teacher, Lahiri Mahasaya, were kind of same style as Nisargadatta, but they were Kriya yogis instead. So they had a little bit more skill-based stuff. So if you look at Autobiography of a Yogi, you might notice I was trying to show you the moon, some very specific passages, like he talks about culture and music and all kinds of stuff. The most important thing, I think, is the really cool awakening and universal consciousness. Noticing my right knee under my right hip, noticing my left knee jutting out to the side ever so slightly, adjusting my hip angle more out of alignment, bringing my feet closer together, a little bit more stable in the left knee. That ankle was sprained skateboarding a couple weeks ago, and it feels really good for walking, but if I were to like do something out of position, I don't think it'd be good, so I'm being careful. You can see just in those few minutes, sun's down, and I'm not halfway yet, but it's gonna be beautiful. Howdy, y'all. Doing well. It's a beautiful spot. I'm hoping to see some more deer because they're super friendly. Halfway point, the fire sign. I just want to make a 30-hour video of me just showing you different stuff around here. Shout out Craig Adams, production quality extraordinaire. What happened there, huh? Look how this whole rectangle, it's all fallen out together. Ooh. Right here. What is it? Oh, it's the moon. There you go. Oh, baby. Mato Tipila. Sunset. Gorgeous. Gorgeous kid. Gorgeous. Ah, Ah, you're beautiful. Tomorrow's the full moon, so I'm definitely going to spend the night out here tomorrow. And I'm just wondering, tonight too? I kind of feel like, yeah, why not? That's why I came. Even though I've had a really cool experience, part of me is still restless to have comfort and like fun activities. But being in the sleeping bag is comfortable, and meditating is fun. And it's been interesting because earlier, like this afternoon, I was kind of nauseous with the energy, and now I feel really good. I think I was nauseous because I was getting energetically cleaned out, or it could be because I had syrup on my pancakes. Ha ha ha. That's a literal statement. Sometimes you never know. But, I mean, other people, when you're more skilled than I am. Though I do feel stuff, I'm still very mentally distracted, as I hopefully often clarify. Just kind of going through the process. But regardless, I do feel really good with the energy. And I wanted to mention, I forget if I already mentioned that when I lived in Peru, I was there for 6 months. A couple years ago, I forget exactly, I could look it up for you. But I went for a shamanic initiation, 10 days with 2 Cusqueño shamans who are also anthropology professors. And that was really cool. We went to a lot of sites, and the sites were really powerful. They were Inca sites, and the Incans, kind of like the Egyptians, have magic archaeology. Magic in the sense that it's not reproduced nowadays. Maybe like for an engineering college project, but it's not like construction quality. And that's just to say they had something going on. Also, the Incans, at the height of their civilization, had a road going, I'm almost positive it was like 2/3 of the whole length. No, I think they controlled 2/3 of South America, and they had a road the length of South America, which is wild. I just really like this energy from this angle, and I'm just bringing you along. This is the light of the sunset, and there might be some moon glow on the other side. I really want to walk around at night, but I am afraid because of being up in the wilderness. And I was thinking, but then I was thinking, well, I'm only afraid because of like the thought of getting like attacked by a critter, which is unlikely, and I've seen so many deer that they're probably well fed. So maybe on the full moon night I will walk around if I'm feeling brave, but might just sit in the car and meditate. You can fast forward if you want to. Mantak Chia is a Qigong teacher, Qigong master, pardon, and I recently saw him online after a couple years of having forgotten about him. I do Qigong sometimes, but I don't have any kind of intimate relationship with it in the sense that I do with meditation and shamanism stuff. But here, this is like mega chi energy with the trees, with the plains, with this structure. And I invite you, if you're out in places like this, even if you don't know what you're doing, just with the intention to energetically connect with the land, to have the intention to have energy flow in a healthy way. Just like getting caught in a thorn bush isn't always nice. There may or may not be spiritual thorn bushes. And so it's just important to be mindful of what we're putting out there when we approach things in that way. But a place like this is really nice for energetic communication and exchange. You can always send your energy down into the earth, but at a place like this, it feels right to kind of imagine drawing it up through and kind of like shining out and then also vice versa, like a beacon pulling universal energy in to the earth and grounding it down to the center. Or, if you prefer, just feeling a sense of love and then connecting to the... I keep on calling it mountain because it's mountain shaped. I don't know what kind of structure it is formally. You know what I mean? Just connecting with it. Wherever you are also, you don't have to be here. This is a really cool spot and I'm really grateful. But the whole earth is alive. You can be in the city. You can connect with the dandelion coming out of the sidewalk. You can go to a river. As long as it's not too dirty. I think if it's like mega polluted, maybe not ideal. Just being mindful of the communication that we do have. And even if you don't notice it in the moment, sometimes you can track the effect over time. So if you go to a spot and it always has good energy, or you always come away feeling really good, maybe that's a good spot for you. And vice versa, if not so good, maybe explore somewhere else. It's so beautiful. Alright, I'm going to keep on going. Because I want to show you this pathway. I think this is so cool. It's a boulder field. These are all nice boulders. And I had pancakes, not waffles. Blessings to this land. Thank you that I can be here right now. And there's the construction area. Look at this beautiful, beautiful rock. Yeah, I kissed it. Beautiful prayer bundles. I hope it's not rude to film them. My intention is that people seeing the prayer bundles will help amplify the prayer. Except if it's a mean prayer, in which case I hope it turns back on you. And then you choose different stuff. This is the first star of the night. And this is my leftover vegetable pizza that I folded into a sandwich. Because that's what resourceful people do. Hello. Right now it is 6:17 and I feel ready for bed from all the energy and the weather and the wind. I had some leftover food and some sunflower seeds I got. Sunflower seeds are one of the healthiest seeds per weight and per price. Thanks, my friend Dastan, for doing the numbers on that one. Had some water. I just feel so good. It's 6:17. I feel ready for bed. But sitting here meditating, that sensation is still present. And again, it's not like it's a subtle sensation. So if I was in like a bad mood, or if I was a little bit like drunk or something, probably wouldn't feel it. But in that mood where you're just kind of listening, or you're just kind of open to stuff, like a museum mood, or a first date mood, where you really just want to be there, like that, but then taking away the activity and the pressure, so it's just presence. In that state, it's beautiful, it's wild. Sadhguru, in his video, he called it explosive energy, an explosive quality of energy or something on the full moon night. And I don't know, but I can 99.9% guess that he's more perceptive than I am. So I'm really curious what it's like for him to be aware, or I mean all kinds of people, but he's a good example and a public figure. Definitely not planning on going anywhere for the night unless somebody comes and tells me to leave or something happens. But there will be at least one trip tomorrow to get food. And then today's 29th, so tomorrow's 30th of December, full moon. And then I might stay again on the 1st to like really solidify the energy. And then on the 2nd, my flight leaves in the afternoon. I might try exploring Bear Butte if I can. maybe like Mount Rushmore or something. Might be fun to see something else, but I also might just be saturated in the energy here. What's interesting also is like mind coming in. Like the energy is pleasant. I've been feeling very comfortable and competent, but also kind of like lighthearted and tender. And just like since getting here, noticing the energy. And I was noticing thoughts while meditating, being like, "Oh, it'll be so good to go and work on workshop stuff," and that's true. But right now I'm here, and so it's just interesting how mind is always like I was like, all right, when I get back on the second, then I can do it, and then I gotta do this, and that's all relevant. But right now I'm right here. Right here I'm right now. Right now is right now. Back to meditation. I thought I was never mind. Making a short clip. Wow, as soon as I started talking to you, the mood totally changed. But the reason I opened up the camera was because, kind of like how earlier I was having nausea feelings with feeling like stuff getting like cooked out or cleaned out. I was going through my videos and I saw the video of Jewel Cave, and for some reason watching myself sitting next to it made me scared. And I'm sitting, there's nobody else up here in the parking lot, and it's like a couple miles down the road, and I'm all alone, and I feel safe. Like I feel really good to be here, but connecting to the energy, letting it go through my body, and similar to how I was experiencing the nausea getting cooked off, I'm feeling fear getting kind of pushed through, specifically my right adrenal gland. Your kidneys are on your back, just below or behind your bottommost ribs, and the adrenal glands sit on top of the kidneys, and they make all kinds of chemicals for when you're stressed, with adrenal, and you can get adrenal fatigue if you have too much stress. And I used to have really sore back, even as like how old was I? I used to be really into working out, and I couldn't deadlift for a long time because if I did like a single set, my back would flare up. And right now I'm sitting here meditating, and I feel peaceful everywhere except in my right kidney area and my right side direction. Like I feel like someone's yelling at me, like yelling like mean, sad things emotionally. There's no sound, obviously. It's just like, it's like, why do I feel bad? And it's like like, what's over there? And it's like, there's nothing over there. I'm just noticing my right adrenal gland. I don't know if it's actually the adrenal. Again, it's like a best estimate. It's just like a soreness and like an ache, and it kind of radiates and it goes up into my right cheek and eye. But what I'm doing with it is just trying to be present without holding on to it, and instead trying to connect mostly with Mato Tipila and let the energy do its thing. Sitting with it for a couple minutes now, and that one specific spot feels mostly relaxed, but there's just like an overall total body feeling of kind of like sadness. And this is all while I'm still noticing the Mato Tipila sensation. I'm really grateful for the energetic work that's being done while I'm just hanging out. And I'm really curious what kind of awarenesses I'll have as it continues. Sometimes energy bounces around a little bit as stuff adjusts. And also you notice new things as mind interacts with life experience different ways. Curious with the fear. if that spot is I don't know, like maybe it's like a thing that's just relevant today, or maybe it'll be more so. Who knows? I'm in the front seat. It's really cozy. It's like 4 or 5 degrees warmer than last night. Just after midnight. Still just kind of sitting with the vibes. The Mato Tipila ringing, the vibration, the energy. It's still there, still noticing the same feeling, but it's like it's gone deeper and deeper inside, and it's now like deep in my low back. Noticing a lot of frustration, like old stuff that used to frustrate me. Noticing it and trying to let it go. By bringing in the Mato Tipila energy into that association or memory until it doesn't feel frustrating anymore. This is really, really interesting, this whole process. Curious if I sleep, how tomorrow goes.